Hey everyone! So it finally happened. And what a way to kick off 2022. I have finally seen my first weird object in the sky in broad daylight, and I learned a couple of things. One is that it's difficult to capture something clearly in the sky with a cell phone. And two, as much as I thought I'd be ready to capture a UFO on camera, I mean I am the UFO guy, right? I wasn't. I was actually too busy trying to figure out what it was that I was looking at with my naked eye. And I really did try. I even have a good phone. Just recently, I picked up the new Pixel 6 Pro and it takes great photos. Here are some of the photos that I took while I was in Chicago. And still, I couldn't get a crystal clear photo of what I was looking at, like many scientists and skeptics say we should be getting by now.
Now, the problem that I have with UFO sighting reports is that, 50 years ago, there were some reports of fuzzy images, saucer-like things. By now, our technologies are much better. Our cameras are much more sensitive. These fuzzy images should have turned into crisp, clear images of things that we are confident about.
So, okay, let's go ahead and start with the story. We were out visiting the company that does our merch in Cypress, Texas, and when we got done with them, we went out to the parking lot, and as I was walking towards the car, something told me to look up, and I did, and immediately I said, "What's that?" The person I was with looked up and said, "You know what, that's not a plane." What we were looking at was coming from the east, coming towards the west, at about the altitude that a small propeller plane would travel at. It looked very odd, and I was having a hard time distinguishing its shape. But it looked like something flat, but not like a disc-shaped UFO, but more complex. But the oddest thing about the sighting was that the object was wobbling, kind of like this. It was flying completely silent, and it traveled some distance from the east to the west, and right before it got directly north of us, it started climbing altitude really quickly, and soon it was way higher than the planes that were passing by. And when it shot up, it just kind of stayed there, completely still. It wouldn't move, and we must have stared at it for about 10 minutes or so, waiting for it to do something. It was also very bright white or highly reflective because you couldn't miss it. And when it decided to shoot up into the sky and stand still, it looked like a really bright star in broad daylight. Now, for the most part, after it shot up in the sky and hovered completely still, something strange did happen. Again, while we were staring at this thing for such a long time, I turned the camera off and we just kind of stared. And all of a sudden, the person that I was with said, "Look, something's falling." And what we saw was this pewter-colored object very high in the sky that moved really quickly from above and basically shot across or in front of our bright object, moving very quickly down but disappeared completely. It really surprised us, but our bright object just stood still. We must have stood there for another 5 minutes, and unfortunately we actually had to leave or we'd miss an appointment, so we left. Now I'm going to show you some of the videos that we took, as well as some of the pictures. We'll be looking at the video I shot as I took it from my phone, and then we'll go ahead and zoom in and see if we can see any details. Now in this shot right here, we went ahead and upped the contrast and stabilized the image so you could see that wobble movement I was talking about. This happened as it traveled slowly from east to west. It's high up there. As you can see here, now it's really high up in the sky and it's just completely stationary. Also notice how bright it is. But again, I'm not sure if it was giving off light or if it was just highly reflective. Here again is where it just hung out completely still. It was there for a long time and me and my partner probably looked crazy looking up at the sky. But we did have 2 people stop by and look at the object and they were also really perplexed. We actually had a trucker come close to us and he told us that he's driven through Roswell and he's seen really strange lights in the sky and that he was a believer in UFOs too. But that's pretty much it. What do you all take of this? Again, 2022 has started off with a bang for me. This is something that I experienced and I really couldn't be any happier. So anyway, please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, this is Jesse and let's keep looking towards the sky because we love the UFOs. Till next time.